The auction hall reeked of despair. Dozens of species stood behind shimmering energy barriers, each one on display like a product. Slavers barked out prices, descriptions, and twisted promises to draw in buyers. The lighting was dim but harsh, and the metallic scent of fear filled the air. Among the captives, one stood out. She was tall, perhaps 7 feet, with cobalt-blue skin and luminous silver eyes that stared straight ahead with hollow stillness. Her arms were bound behind her back with energy cuffs, and bruises covered her muscular frame. Intricate bone-like protrusions extended from her elbows and shoulders, regal yet dulled with grime and cruelty. A slave tag was burned into her collarbone, number 847 Craxil female. Unbroken. Dangerous. The slaver yelled. This one, last of her unit. Savage warrior breed. 2 years of re-education. Still bites. Make her a pet, a guard, or break her in yourself. From the shadows of the crowd, a human stepped forward. Mid-30s, lean with a broad frame, stubble, and a disinterested gaze. His name was Ethan Varrick, a salvager by trade, known for drifting between sectors, rarely speaking and never wasting words. He raised a hand. The slaver blinked. What you? She's expensive, human. We don't haggle on this one. No refunds if she kills you. Ethan pulled out a sealed credit chip. It pulsed with authorization. Enough to buy a decent freighter. The slaver's eyes gleamed. A minute later the force field dropped. She didn't move. Ethan stepped closer and spoke calmly. My name is Ethan. You're free to come with me. Or not. She looked at him. No threats, no commands. His choice. For the first time in 2 years. She stood, legs trembling, and followed him into the docking bay. Her name was Vaelzari of Clan Kareth, once a war chieftain of the outer moons of Veltrax. Her people had never known defeat, until the Ulan Syndicate raided her moon, slaughtered her warriors, and sold the survivors to slavers. Ethan didn't pry. He gave her a room on his ship, the Calliope, with a private shower, bed, and clothes, none of which she had touched in years. She didn't speak for 2 weeks, only observed him as he flew between asteroid fields, bartered for scrap, and played ancient Earth music while working. One evening, she appeared in the cockpit doorway. Why did you buy me? Ethan didn't turn. Because no one else would treat you like a person. Vael blinked. Then what do you want from me? He looked at her for the first time. Nothing. Unless you decide otherwise. She left silently. But something inside her shifted. Days turned into weeks. She began cleaning the ship on her own, fixing panels, memorizing the NAV system. He let her. She trained in the cargo hold, rebuilding her muscles, hissing with pain as they healed from years of neglect. Ethan installed a reinforced punching dummy. Didn't say a word. She began eating at the table instead of in her room. Sometimes she even asked about the planets they visited. By month 2 she started smiling. Then came the night she cried. She found Ethan in the engine room, adjusting the hyperdrive's plasma aligner. They broke my horns, she whispered. He looked up. Her bone crests, once symbols of status, had been sawed down, jagged and raw. Her voice trembled. They made me watch. They wanted to ruin me. Ethan set his tools down. They didn't. You're still you. No, I'm less. You're alive. That's not less. He shuddered. Her body tensed as if expecting a blow, but instead, Ethan stepped forward and gently pressed his forehead to hers. Her kind sign of trust. She wept into his shoulder. Months passed. They became partners. Pilots. Friends. She learned Earth's sarcasm. He learned how to spar against someone with claws. He gave her a necklace made of scavenged metal, etched with her clan's sigil. She never took it off. One day, on the outer rim of a derelict cruiser, they were ambushed by pirates. Vale moved like a storm, tearing through the boarding party with primal grace. One pirate tried to stab Ethan. Vale intercepted the blade with her forearm and snapped the attacker's spine with a growl. Afterward, she collapsed in the medbay, shaking from old trauma. Ethan stitched her arm in silence. "I don't want to fight anymore," she said. "Then don't," he replied. "But it's all I've ever been." He took her hand. "Be something else. Be what you want." She stared at their joined hands, then up at him. "I want," she hesitated. "I want to feel safe when someone touches me." Ethan nodded and slowly, gently, wrapped his arms around her. She didn't flinch. For the first time she relaxed. They drifted near the twin stars of the Leon 6, watching the golden flares from the observation deck. Vale leaned her head on Ethan's shoulder. "Do humans take mates?" she asked. "Sometimes. When the connection is real." She looked up at him. "And if one was broken, chained, would she still be worthy?" Ethan cupped her cheek, the alien texture of her skin warm beneath his palm. "You were never unworthy, Vale. They just tried to convince you of that." She leaned in, lips brushing his. Quiet moment, and more. That night, they lay tangled on his bunk, breathless and calm. "I've never felt desire before," she whispered. "Not real desire. Not mine." Ethan kissed her temple. "Then I'm glad you felt safe enough to share it." Their bond deepened. On every planet, Vale walked at his side, no longer a prisoner but a protector and companion. When slavers recognized her, they recoiled in disbelief. Some whispered about the human who tamed a Veltraxian. But Ethan never tamed her. He freed her. Together they exposed syndicate bases, freed other captives, and sabotaged auctions in secret. One night, after freeing an entire transport of enslaved civilians, Vale looked into the mirror and saw something she hadn't in years. Pride. Then came the bounty. A syndicate warlord named Rolek posted a reward for the human saboteur and his pet beast. Their faces were plastered across terminals in 3 sectors. The message was clear: surrender or be hunted. Ethan wasn't worried. Vale was enraged. "They still call me a beast," she snarled. "Still think I'm something to chain." "Then we show them otherwise," Ethan replied. They planned one last strike, on Rolek's stronghold, where hundreds more captives were rumored to be kept. They infiltrated the fortress through the waste channels, fighting through corridors of mercenaries. Vale moved with ruthless precision, protecting Ethan's flank. When they reached the control chamber, alarms blared and Rolek appeared on a hologram. "So, you brought your little pet, human?" Ethan smirked. "Funny. She dragged me here." Vale stepped forward. "You broke my people. I will break your hold." She transmitted the data they had gathered, proof of Rolek's war crimes, across the galaxy. Within hours, Allied patrols descended. The stronghold fell. Back on the Calliope, Ethan and Vale watched the news as governments condemned Rolek and placed a price on every syndicate leader's head. Vale leaned against Ethan, her eyes soft. "You bought me once," she said, "but never owned me. You fulfilled my desires. Not just for freedom but for choice, for trust, for love." Ethan took her hand. "You gave me purpose. I didn't save you. We saved each other." She smiled, the scars on her face no longer symbols of pain, but of survival. They never returned to the slave markets. But across the stars rumors spread. Of a once broken warrior woman, reborn through the kindness of a human.